Hello ladies and gents, and welcome back to another Satisfactory video, where today we'll be finishing Phase 3 and moving on to Phase 4. To do that, we just need to dump the remaining items in the space elevator. These things. Nice. And then send them off for Fix It to use. So we seal. And now we send. And now we should have access to all the new milestones, so let's go take a look. Alright, now this is my pretty much favorite part of the game, is the final tiers. So now, we get to look at tier 7 and 8. So bauxite refinement is the first thing that we are going to do, and we can unlock this right away, so we're going to go do that. So I'm going to grab these materials. And just like that, we have all of our materials that we need to unlock aluminum processing. And this will give us also quartz scanner, but we don't really need that. We already have quartz production, so we're good on that. We unlock the radio control units and the blenders. Now the blenders are huge because now we'll be able to make a fuel plant and we'll be able to make a lot of power, which we are in need of. So we will be doing this very soon. So let's go ahead and unlock this milestone, and our first tier 7 milestone is already done. So now if we look for fuel, regular fuel here, we can see we should have a blender alternate. Yep, blender alternate. We have the diluted fuel. This is what we'll be using, and to create probably 20,000 megawatts is going to be our starter fuel plant, and that will suffice for a little while. So if you guys look at the power graph here, we are consuming right around 2100, maybe 2200 at spikes, a little 2300 at spikes, and we're producing 3400. Now this isn't horrible, but our consumption and our max production are pretty much right on track with each other, and I don't want to overload our grid, so I do want to be looking into getting that fuel plant next episode, but I think this episode we kind of have to get aluminum production done. We should be able to. I've turned off some machines, some of the manufacturers and things like that would be pulling more power, and that we don't need producing. We don't need them producing stuff right now. So the next order of operations that we need to do is at least get a little bit of aluminum production done so we can make blenders, because I don't think we can make. Oh, we can. No, we cannot make them. We need radio control units and aluminum casings, which is going to be kind of tough. So I'm going to work out a little area for us to kind of go ahead and start a aluminum factory. It'll probably be kind of in between here. It's going to be, I know there's bauxite up on that mountain there, so we might end up using that. I'm not sure, just because it is on top of the mountain, so we either have to bring the bauxite down or bring water up there. So one of those two has to happen. So I'm going to do a little research and figure out where we want this to go, and then we can kind of start working on the actual factory. Okay, so I think I have figured out the plan of attack for this factory. So what I am gonna do is kind of be a little ambitious. I want to take the bauxite from right up here. I want to bring it down to kind of right next to our train rail right there. I would like to build the aluminum factory here. The only issue, because we need 3 resources, we need water, we need bauxite, and we need coal. Water and bauxite right here. Coal is not very close. That is an issue. We do have coal up top, but getting it, again, from like all the way up there is not exactly fun, and I decided that I'm gonna need to go to the south anyways at some point, so what better than to just create a rail system all the way down like here. I eventually want this to get down there, and I don't think it'll take super long, at least not to lay the blueprint. To connect all the power and everything will take some time, but I figure I might as well use this blueprint that I have, and yeah. So I'm gonna throw a rail line all the way down to the southern part of the map, and then that will also give us the option for future factories that we can make down there. I'm gonna get to laying the blueprint, and this is pretty pretty quick, the blueprint part. Building the road still takes some time, but the blueprint is not super long. Okay, so to build this, it's really easy, especially on the straightaways. They're really fast. Just do 2 of these and 1 support, and I can use my jetpack along with this, and I can just zoom down like so and build it very fast. So using the blueprint snapping feature, I mean, we can lay the blueprint very far pretty quick, although sometimes it does like to place a blueprint underneath here. I've had that happen once or twice, but I think that's just me going a little too fast. But yeah, as you can see, you can lay it very fast. The only slow part is when we hit a curve, because I have to lay a support on each foundation curve. That is the only slow part. So I'm gonna get to work and lay this rail all the way down to the south. Okay, and I think over 3 hours later, we are down here. That took so much longer than I thought, and it's not even like properly done. I kind of sped through some of the ramp stuff and things like that. The blueprint and the road itself are kind of down here where we need it. I have to set up the coal mining and the train station still, so that still needs to be done. And we don't have the train station for the where the coal is going to end up, so we still have to do that. And I still have to lay all the rails for this train line, so I still have to do that. But I do have the kind of where each, I think where the train station should go. I think I do have that set up properly right here. I placed a marker earlier, and it is ready to be hooked up into here. And so I think I should be able to delete this and place I do not have stuff for a train station. Well, you just put that right back. And the reason why it took so long is because that blueprint uses a lot of materials, so I can only do like 20 sections at a time, which sounds like a lot, and it kind of is, but this distance is like half the map, half the height of the map, and this map is huge, so that is pretty far. But yeah, I'm glad I got that done. The benefit is that this is a 2 tall rail network, so as long as once we lay the rails, we can use it consistently. So it's going to pay off. Future Kylo will love myself for running a train line all the way down here and not like trying to use a truck or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to thank myself later for it, but I need to grab the materials for the train station and the miner and stuff, so I got to go back for that. But I do have a hypertube set up, I believe. I don't know if I have the entrance on it. I do not think I do. But I believe I have a hypertube all the way connected, along with power to probably half of it. So yeah, we just got to lay the rails, power, and do some more logistics. But yeah, we got some more work to get done. Okay, so not too much longer later, actually. That didn't take super long. So I got a miner set up, and on a beam bus just coming over here down below, and I have a buffer system here. So this is going to allow us to, I think I still need to run power actually. This is going to allow us to have the miner constantly working. So in the event that we are using pretty much all of what that miner is supplying, whenever the train is loading or unloading, it is not going to accept items into its inventory. So I usually add a buffer system to every train, whether it needs it or not. I like to have it. So that buffer, it'll, instead of, because that belt will be full, when that train comes in to pick up items, it will no longer move that belt. In turn, it will throw into a storage. This is probably overkill, but I just threw these in here. So it will back up in this storage, and then when the train goes off, it will, throw the excess into that train station. So if you were using 100% of that coal, it would still have the same amount of productivity. So I think we are ready to place down our train station here, and it should go right about somewhere around here, I think. Let's see. So if we throw it like right here, is that facing the right way? It is not. Let's get it facing the correct way. Should be right here. And this rail should connect just perfectly right here. And we do need some block signals, I think. So let's grab a block signal and see if we can throw it on the end there. And then we only need one freight platform for this because we're only doing one platform for coal. Super easy. Just like that. And then we should be able to connect this line over here. This is kind of lengthy, but this does leave me the window of opportunity later on if I decide I want to import maybe a random node or a small amount of materials from here to another place. We can just set up a new train with an empty freight car or empty cart here. And I think, and yeah, and it wouldn't pick up those items, so, or it would fill up, but it eventually wouldn't pick up those items. So we can add more items here for different trains later down the line, which is good, and future me will probably appreciate this, I hope anyways. Another thing, I do have the power ran all the way down here. As you can see, power right here. We just gotta throw a power to this train station and set up our signals. We will have to redo the little intersection and whatnot over here from the other train because that is going to cause a lot of problems and they probably won't even work. So we got some more work to do, but yeah, I'm going to get this all set up and we will hop back once I'm done. Okay, so after setting up the train station in the south, now we are back here where we will eventually make our aluminum factory, and where that bauxite is and whatnot. So we just gotta throw down I think a locomotive, facing the correct way, of course, and we need a freight car on it. And if we edit timetable, coal to aluminum, I think, and then coal in at aluminum, save changes, turn on self-driving, and I don't know if this is... Station is unreachable. There is... Oh, yeah. Okay. I keep doing this, man. Is this one, like, backwards? Ay. I am so confused. Alright, time to troubleshoot. And it looks like I have found the issue. When I replaced my train station earlier, I put it backwards again. So let me just fix that. Okay, and got this with a new power line just connected back onto the outlets I have here to make sure that is powered. And it looks like it is, but let's zoom in. And it looks like there's a green there, so we are good. And this should work. Now if I throw this train on autopilot, this is load, yep. Throw this on autopilot, should drive over there unless there are some conflicting issues with the rail network. Okay, driving as per now. Oh, hey, okay. I forgot to re-add that train station, so it's gonna go take a whole loop-de-loop. So I'm gonna make sure this is all working properly. And it looks like our train is off on its jolly way, so it seems to be working, although I am debating reworking this, because this will not suffice if we add more trains. So I will probably end up reworking this, and I'll probably have to move this train station, things like that, to actually fit. So we are going to move on to the next step, and kind of get this area ready for production. Okay, so we have redesigned this intersection here, and let me just take you through the whole setup. So we now are using our path and blocking signals as we should be, and this is a pretty basic setup, but it can be a little confusing if people don't know how trains work. So basically we have technically 4 different entrances and exits to this intersection. In every entrance, for an intersection, you put a path signal right here. So this is an entrance, so it's leaving the drop-off, and it's going to enter this intersection, so we're putting a path signal here. Same as over here, so this train that was doing our oil, which it still is doing our oil stuff, also has a path signal entering its intersection. This also counts as an entrance to the intersection right here, and this has a path signal. And then right here, entering from the coal pickup to enter the train station is another path signal. And then every exit to the intersection has a blocking signal. And between these, the train is able to communicate if there is a train inside this intersection. And the intersection, as you can see by the colors, is all one color. So this intersection is treated as one rail. So if there is a train inside this, no other train will jump in here. So as you can see right here, there's a train in here, and then as soon as it leaves, then a train coming from any other area would be able to pass through. This does actually show itself a little bit when this oil train is coming into dock here. So I've ridden on it a couple times just to make sure everything is very good, and it does slow down sometimes right here when there is a train leaving this station. So everything works properly, and this does allow us to add future trains without any issues. Although we might end up needing overpasses and bypasses, things like that, to expedite something that is just going through and is never going to be stopping here. That might be something we add in later, but for now this works very well. And something I did add a awesome sink here that is just going to be sinking some extra coal. It's not sinking all of it because I think our throughput right now is actually, yeah, I think our throughput from the backlog is like 270, and we're sinking 120 per minute. But we are only producing 120, so it's just kind of sinking whatever's being produced, if that makes sense. But we are, I was just sinking the excess to make sure our throughput is okay. It should only be 120 right now. I need to go overclock that miner to like 150, I think. But it is higher because it's basically moving the backlog from the train station plus those two storages over here, so that throughput is higher, but it will lower down to whatever the miner is capped at, which will be 150. And now I believe we are ready to deal with our bauxite. So we need to get our bauxite in, then we also do need to get water in, and then we will be kind of ready and all set up to build our aluminum factory. And then one other thing I wanted to mention, just in case we didn't see it earlier, was that we are no longer on a monorail for this. So it is split, and I do have this rail connected all the way down to our train stations over by our starter factory. So this is double rail the whole way, and now working like a normal rail system would. So that is all good. Okay, so I have just added the bauxite bus line from up on the hill. It is kind of hard to get it to look decent. I am going to be deleting the wall. There's a wall and ladder right there that I was using for access. I wanted to make sure I left that until I know that that whole belt system is good. So I'm going to wait till after we get all of the production done, and then we'll deal with removing this and probably adding some frames and supports, things like that. But yeah, that is going to just be a little bit of an eyesore for now. And we need to get a production floor. I have a logistic floor right here. So the bottom one is going to, so this is a 2 high right here, or 2 wall. So it's like 7 meters, I think, because it's a, there's a 2 meter foundation here. But that will be for logistics. And then I do have our bauxite coming in. And then I just need to set up the water extractor. We only need 1 water extractor. We need 96 water for this because there is a byproduct of water, so we recycle that into the same system. And yeah, so we only need 1 water extractor. Bauxite is right here coming down. Yeah, so we have our 240 line of bauxite, and on the screen I'm going to put a graph showing the kind of the network of what we're going to be building. It's not very big. I think it's a couple refineries to make the aluminum, and then smelters and constructors and stuff. So it's very simple. Okay, so I have made this little platform here, and this should be kind of like the generic size we need, because it's not going to be super huge a factory just to make the basic starter aluminum amount. Yeah, so I have this all ready, but this episode has taken me like I think 7 days to make. So I'm gonna end it here, and then next episode we'll be able to completely focus on the first actual factory build of the aluminum. We got into phase 4, and I think I'm on like at least 12 hours since we started that. So I am gonna end off this episode, but let me know if you guys like the video. Feel free to comment suggestions and feedback. And yeah, till next time, peace.
Yeah. I'm slick with words, tongue sharp, you left in thirds. You pitching verbs, I knock it out, I'm flipping birds. While smoking herbs, I'm blocking out what often hurts.